Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to dive into the first episode of the brand new sci-fi horror series Alien Earth. And if you are a fan of the Alien franchise, you've probably had your eyes on this one since you saw the first trailer or the multiple trailers that have come out. And the trailers definitely made me interested in it. I wasn't 100% sure if I even wanted to watch it, but I was curious enough, and that seeing that it just came out, I figured why not give it a look. I figured it can't hurt. It doesn't seem like there's many episodes right now. I don't know how many total episodes there are. I think the first two are released right now. So I figured I'd take a look at it, see how I feel. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Alien fan, but I don't mind the movies at all. I do enjoy watching them, so I figured why not take a look at this and see if it's any good. So I'm here to break it down, but before we get started, obviously, heads up, I'm going full spoilers here, so, even if I don't realize it is a spoiler, I'm just gonna give you the heads up in case something is a spoiler and you're like, well, what the hell, why did you say that? If you haven't seen the episode, I'm just giving you the heads up, so I don't want you going in blind. Maybe check this out after you've watched it and then come back, grab some popcorn, and let's talk about Alien Earth. So, the episode starts off with us basically almost like the intro to the first Alien movie. It felt exactly like that, with the pods opening up slowly. The crew, we're getting to know this crew as they're hanging around, talking, discussing things, and eating. So you know basically just kind of doing mundane things, just talking about all the companies that are apparently now in this universe other than Weyland-Yutani. There's a bunch more. I think they said there's like 5. I don't remember all their names, but they said there's like 5 other companies now. So we have all of these other evil corporations probably that are probably dumb. So as we're doing this, you kind of get this one character's got like a shady feel to him already. I have no idea if he is like a cyborg, synthetic, whatever they want to call them in this. They've kind of called them different things in this episode, so I have no idea what to actually say. I'm just going to say synthetic, because they said that a couple times in this episode. But I'm not sure if this guy is a synthetic, but he is giving off the vibes of one of them. And it's just how he's acting creepy around them, and kind of making people feel awkward. It's just a very weird feel. But as you were going through all of this with this crew, we're getting future flashes, or not so much flashbacks, but like future flashbacks. I don't really know to these creatures that they have on the ships and what's possibly going to happen to this ship. And we cut over to back to Earth now. And there's this little girl who, she's sick. You can tell she's sick. And one of the companies is taking her mind, transferring her mind over into the synthetic here so she can live a longer life. And at the moment, we have no idea why they're doing this or why they chose her in specific. They don't really give many answers onto why they're doing all of that. They, basically tell her that it'll be like dreaming, and that she'll wake up into this new body, and that she won't be sick anymore. She won't have anything to fear. She'll be stronger, faster, more durable, and she won't have anything to worry about anymore. And as we're doing that, we hop back into the ship, where the captain of the ship now, I don't know if he isn't synthetic, because he didn't act like it at first, which, granted, I mean, most of the synthetics we've seen in this Alien franchise act normal at times, and then all of a sudden do a freaking 180, so it's very similar. But all he has is like this really, like this weird arm that looks like it's a robot arm that is able to create a flame, and he basically locks this girl out. She's like the last member of the crew, trying to beg in to get into this area where I don't even know what you call this area, but he's like typing up a report saying now the specimen are loose and that the ship is going to crash into Earth and how all the crew members are dead. So instead of trying to save her in any way, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what he really could have done. Yes, he was a dick to what he did to her, but at the same time, like, I don't know what he could have done, because what are you gonna do to a xenomorph? Like, you're gonna die. You're gonna basically die. There's really no surviving. So she gets killed off away on, to the side. The alien basically tortures her to death. It's like, it claws at her, and then eventually takes its tail and just stabs her. And then it slowly backs up to where it sees the captain of the ship, and it looks pissed. It wants to go after him. So the captain's typing up as fast as he can, and you could see the sweat coming down on him. So that's why I'm not 100% sure if he's synthetic or if he's just enhanced with stuff onto his body. I have no idea, because I don't know if they actually sweat, They're cyborgs. Why would they sweat? So that's what I'm kind of not sure about right there with this captain. But he's very shady, and he is more focused on getting this report done. So as the alien is trying to bust into this compartment, and he finally is able to ride up the port, get himself into the safe room before the ship crashes. But the alien is trying desperately to get in there and try and get him, and it comes real close. So the ship ends up crashing, and not just any crash. We see the Weyland-Yutani ship descend toward Earth in flames. The sequence is very intense, and the impact is devastating. Almost like it's taken right away. It gives off this major, like, bad news energy vibe type thing, where it's like, oh god, all those specimens are in there. Like, this ain't going to be good. And so we cut to the girl who had her mind transferred over, and after we see, all these kids getting their minds transferred into these bodies and getting used to these bodies, she keeps an eye on her brother, who is a medic for the first responders of this other company. And as they go to help all these other people who are just in this crash, which gives off a very 9/11 type vibe, she sees that, and she wants to go out there and help her brother. She wants to save her brother and do whatever she can to help him. So as they are running towards, we see the emergency crews responding, soldiers approaching to the wreckage, and the visuals here feel very disturbingly real, like almost like something ripped from a disaster documentary. The ship is mangled, smoke everywhere. There's this eerie silence that hangs over. There's rubble. There's ash in the air. Like, it felt so much like 9/11. And at one point, they even referenced the building that the ship crashed into as the towers. So, like, it definitely gave you those types of vibes. Like, this is basically just 9/11 in their world. It was very surreal, essentially. Inside, the soldiers carefully move through the wreckage. The atmosphere is very claustrophobic, a very alien-like feel. There's dim lighting, flickering sparks, debris everywhere, and it feels like one wrong turn could get them killed, basically, And these two soldiers end up walking down this hallway, and the captain we end up seeing notices them, and he hides because he doesn't want to get noticed right away. But these two soldiers walk into this lab area where you could see that there are these creatures that are still alive, still in their containment. Some of them are still in their containment, and as they see it, they just end up realizing, like, let's get the hell out of here. There's no reason for us to be in here. And as they're leaving, the captain catches them, tells them basically, put your guns, weapons down, and go back in there, and he ends up tying them up to this pole and basically leaving them for death. Like, that's exactly what he's doing here. Because as they are investigating this body when they were in the lab, this bug-like creature crawls down on one of the guys, and he doesn't notice it. Sorry. So while they are sitting there tied up, the bug finally comes out, and the guy's freaking out because obviously You don't know what this bug is going to do. He can't reach his knife. They're they're defenseless at this point because their hands are tied. So there's nothing they can do to stop it. And so, like, as this bug is climbing on his face, if you have a fear of bugs or anything climbing on you, this scene will get you for sure because it is disgusting, and it is something that everybody who's afraid of bugs or the fear of people of things crawling on their face, this will get you for sure. So the bug is climbing all over its face until it gets to its neck and basically sucks a shit ton of its blood out. Like, I don't know how much blood it really took, but enough to kill the guy, essentially. Like, this guy ends up dying, and this bug is just like a big blob of blood. And then another one drops down for the other soldier and then ends up doing the same thing to him, only it doesn't take it out of its neck. It ends up going down his shirt, so I don't know if it actually needs to take blood from the neck or if it could take it from anywhere, but I get the whole it climbing on the guy's face to build that tension, but if it was just going to take the blood anywhere, it literally could have taken it anywhere. It seemed almost kind of pointless at that point. So the captain runs off, leaves them to basically die. We see this other group of soldiers and guys and the brother who are in here, and they're searching. They see the cryo chamber where all the crew members sleep, and we see basically how some of them died in their pods, some of them were crushed by the rubble itself, others were killed from on the inside, and they're looking at it like, what could have done that? What could pop out of someone's body and basically make something like that? And they end up following this blood trail, and in the background you see some kind of shadow, like they kind of make it look obvious if you're paying attention, and it runs up walking away. So I don't know if that is the alien, if that's the xenomorph, or if it's the face hugger. You can't really tell because all you see is a shadow. So they end up following this blood trail to see what came out of the body, which I feel like is a very bad idea. Why the hell would you want to do that? That seems very stupid. Like, I don't need to see something that basically popped out of someone else's body and broke through the glass and now is crawling around. I don't need to see that. That definitely doesn't sound like something I need to see. So they end up following this blood trail, but the ship ends up falling down, and now they're kind of basically locked in here. You know, the doors seal. They have no choice but to continue moving forward at this point. And as that's happening, we see Wendy, who's this synthetic, the girl who transferred her mind into this cyborg here. She decided to name herself Wendy, which the Peter Pan, I mean, good lord. It's just, I'll get to that when I talk about the pros and the cons here, but the Peter Pan vibes are all over this episode, not just in the title of the episode. And, she's talking to this guy, Timothy, wow, I cannot think of his name right now, Timothy Olyphant? I probably butchered that name, but, like, you'll know who he is when you see his face. But they're having a conversation, and he's telling her that everything basically will die, and that if there's, you know, if you are the predator, eventually you will become a prey, and you will get eaten and killed by something, or you will eventually die. And Wendy just does not believe that. She's like, I'm going to save my brother. I'm going to make sure he's okay. And he's like, well, he's going to die eventually. And she keeps telling him, like, I'm going to save him today. Like, I am going to save him. So as they take the group of these kids who are called the Lost Boys, more Peter Pan hidden reference there, they gather together, and they end up becoming like a search and rescue type of feel. Mainly, her main focus is to go save her brother. Like, she knows him going in the ship is a bad vibe, bad juju. Something is making her realize that she needs to go save her brother. And that's the most essential, important thing to her. And before she ends up getting there, you know, the ship falls down, and that's the episode. We are left on a cliffhanger, or in this case, a fall hanger, because they ended up falling off the cliff of the building here. And Yeah, like by the end of of the episode, we're left with more questions and answers. Um, why did Wayland Yutani ship crash on Earth? How did they get all these alien specimens? What role did the synthetic kids play? And what exactly, like, it's just there's a lot left here, you know. They definitely made it to where you're gonna want to check out the second episode to see what happens. They definitely put you on a cliffhanger for sure. Now, let's get into the pros and talk about what I enjoyed in this episode. So, firstly, I enjoy the effects in this movie. They are in this show, in this first episode. It looked very good. Everything looked real. You know, the sets looked good. I don't know if some of them were practical or if they were CGI, but they did a good enough job where it felt real and it didn't take you out of the scene or the moment at all. The xenomorph looked good, whether that was just another person in a suit or if they did CGI, it looked great. Just everything effects wise looked very good in this episode. I loved how it all looked and how it all still felt like it was from the Alien series, but still looked updated essentially. And the only thing that took me out of it, CGI wise, was there was the bug sucking thing. It just fell a little short for me, and it looked a little bit less polished than everything else. But it didn't ruin anything. You know, it didn't destroy all the other effects. It just, that was one that didn't make it. It didn't do anything for me. So for like that scene where it's sucking the soldier's blood out, it didn't do anything because of how fake it just looked to me. It did not look good at all. It almost looked like it wasn't done, essentially. The next one I have is the vibes. This episode nails the atmosphere. The intro felt like it was ripped straight from the original Alien movie. 100% felt like it was like I was just watching the opening to Alien, you know? That the slow, dread-feeling pacing, the ship crash even had this eerie similarity to real-world tragedy, almost invoking the visuals and emotions of 9/11. It's almost haunting in a way that it sticks with you, and how much they made it feel almost exactly like that. The sequence of the soldiers exploring the ship were pure tension. The cinematography, the lighting, the sound design, all combined to give you this sense of something lurking around every corner. And for anyone who's ever played the game Alien Isolation, it definitely will give you a serious deja vu. Like, it definitely felt like it was that type, like you were almost playing the game as these soldiers. It's the same mix of curiosity and fear. You want to see what's ahead, but you're also terrified of what's around, you know, the corner. You have no idea, so you're basically walking in here blind. The only thing they didn't have was obviously that radar for, like, the alien to let you know where it was. But it definitely gave up those Alien Isolation type vibes there. Now, after all the pros, the cons for this episode that I have are, my first one is there are too many questions without enough breadcrumbs, hints, something. Now, this could turn into a positive if the show pays it off later, but as the first episode, it felt like there were too many mysteries thrown at once without giving us any, or even any small clues to hold on to. How are they, you know, why are they transferring these kids' minds into the synthetics? Why did the Wayland Yutani ship crash on Earth? How did they gather all of these alien specimens? It's not that I want all the answers right away. I get the slow burn, and I get they're going to reveal them later. It's just I want something, you know. We didn't even get any hints. It feels like the episode is keeping us in the dark just for the sake of it, you know. I feel like they could have given us something, like breadcrumbs, hints, small ideas to maybe give us our own ideas, instead of us just thinking, okay, well, Wayland Yutani has a plan. and they're just stupid, you know, because most of the time they just want the specimens and they want the alien all the time, obviously not realizing every single freaking time it's a bad idea to get the aliens. But we don't know why they are collecting the specimens. We have no idea what the purpose of crashing the ship was. Is it for them to get payback for all these other companies? Is this one company that's transferring the kids' minds into these synthetics onto an eviler plan, or is it actually for the better of humanity? Like, there are so many questions, and I would have just been fine with small hints, small ideas. Anything would have been fine, but I just feel like they didn't want to give us any, and it almost felt like they don't even know the answers to their questions. So that kind of got me the wrong way. And then my other con, the Peter Pan Overlord. Like, holy hell, I get, I get the metaphor. I actually think it's a clever concept, to be honest. You know, the kids are in these synthetic bodies that will never grow, they will never change, never able to grow up, essentially. But the episode pushes it a little too hard for me. I mean, the title of the episode is a Peter Pan reference called Neverland. They show actual clips from the movie during the mind transfers. The group of the kids is literally called the Lost Boys. It's one of those situations where subtly could have made it stronger, but instead it feels like the show was saying, get it? Do you get it? Like, do you get the Peter Pan references? The main girl, her name is Wendy, And I think her brother's name is John. So, I mean, it's just, my God, we get the Peter Pan references. I understand it, Are we going to get a Captain Hook somewhere in this? I mean, it was just too much. And at first I thought it was a great idea, but then they just kept going with these. The Peter Pan thing was too much. And if you did it just subtly, it would have been fine, but the overload was just way too much for me, and it kind of ruined it for me. So here's where I land on the first episode of Alien Earth. It has a tone, atmosphere, and visuals that make you feel like make it feel like it's a worthy part of the Alien universe. It even managed to pull in the dread and pacing of the original movie and the survival horror of the Alien game. But while it nailed the look and the feel, it didn't give me enough in terms of a payoff for the narrative. Basically left with plenty of curiosity, which will keep me coming back, but as a standalone first episode, it didn't fully hook me emotionally. So I'm giving the first episode a grade of C. Not terrible, not amazing, it's just okay. It's got potential, and I'm definitely going to check out episode 2, but I'm hoping they start giving us some answers. And let's look how mysterious we are. It almost feels like they don't know their own answers, and I don't think we need that. Like, give me some hints here. I don't know why anything is going on, essentially, other than Wendy trying to go save her brother. That is the only thing I know for sure what we're doing, essentially, in this episode. So I hope they give us some more. I get them trying to hook us in to get us to watch the other episode, but I've already started watching the first, so I'm going to watch the second and the rest of the season. But you gotta give me something here, because if I'm questioning every episode at the end of it, I'm kind of gonna get bored, and I'm not gonna want to watch anymore, because I don't want to have to keep wondering what is going on. I don't want to keep questioning everything after every episode. So let me know in the comments what you thought if you saw the first episode. Did you love it? Were you also a little overwhelmed by the unanswered questions? Did the Peter Pan references, was that too much for you, or did you think it was fine? I would love to hear what you guys thought about it. And, like I always say, let me know what other shows or movies you'd like me to tackle. And then I will see you guys in the next episode.